Fembots made their debut in the first Austin Powers movie in 1997. Designed to look like attractive 1960s-style women, Fembots had exaggerated features such as glamorous makeup, high hairstyles, and stylish, revealing clothing. Fembots were programmed to seduce and then eliminate their targets. They used their allure to distract and incapacitate enemies before attacking them. The Fembots were sent by Dr. Evil to seduce and kill Austin Powers. However, Austin ultimately defeats them by overwhelming their circuits with his own seductive dance moves, causing them to malfunction and explode. Female robots have been featured in cinema as far back as 1927, when, in the silent movie Metropolis, a robot called Maria danced and hypnotized a crowd of men, all of whom wore ridiculous expressions of rapture on their faces. And who could forget the Stepford Wives, where the women of the town of Stepford were replaced by robots designed to be perfect as well as submissive. In most of their roles on screen, robot women have been highly idealized, as well as sensualized. It should be no surprise to learn, therefore, that female robots are currently being created, workshopped, and tested for that very role in the real world.
You've got metal fever, boy! Metal fever!
Companies like IronTech, RealDoll, and XDoll, just to name a few, are working to make erotic mannequins more realistic for their clientele. However, pleasure comes at a cost. These synthetic sweethearts have a price range anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. On top of having a realistic feeling silicone skin, some of these full-figured fembots are equipped with AI, can speak, move facial features, and can even have customizable personalities.
Ordinarily, Billy would work hard to make money with his paper route. Then he'd use the money to buy dinner for Mavis, thus earning a slim chance to perform the reproductive act. But in a world where teens can date robots, why should he bother? Why should anyone bother?
At this point, some, maybe most of you, are probably asking yourselves, is there a downside to all of this? The answer is, not at all. Well, maybe not that much. That is to say, probably? Okay, yes, definitely, yes, there are red flags everywhere here.
Ordinary human dating. It's enjoyable and it serves an important purpose. But when a human dates an artificial mate, there is no purpose, only enjoyment. And that leads to tragedy.
There have been several experts over the years who have warned us about the inherent dangers in courting computerized companions. Let's focus on just two for today. The founder of the Campaign Against Sex Robots, yes, the dark underbelly of our world has actually gone far enough to merit this, Dr. Kathleen Richardson warns that relying on robots for companionship might reinforce harmful stereotypes and objectification, particularly concerning women. Dr. Sherry Turkle, professor at MIT, even MIT are aware of this sexbot mania, have written extensively about the impact of technology on human relationships. In her book, Alone Together, Why We Expect More from Technology and Less from Each Other, Dr. Turkle argues that robot companionship could lead to a decrease in genuine human interaction and emotional connections, potentially exacerbating feelings of isolation and loneliness.
Let's see what happens next.
Billy, do you want to walk your dog?
No thanks, Mom. I'd rather make out with my robot.
Billy, do you want to get a paper route and earn some extra cash?
No thanks, Dad. I'd rather make out with my robot.
Billy, do you want to come over tonight? We can make out together.
Gee, Mavis, your house is across the street. That's an awfully long way to go for making out.
In other words, if you spend too much time in your room with a robot, you forget how to be friends with real people. It's not rocket surgery, it's brain science, guys.
Now, let's skip forward 80 years into the future. Where's Billy?
Farewell!
Okay now, in all seriousness, what is it that keeps drawing people, particularly men, to the idea of creating fembots? A few things. Desire for control. Robots can be programmed to behave in certain ways. offering predictability and control in interactions. This predictability can be comforting for individuals who struggle with the complexities of real human interactions. Avoidance of rejection. Robots do not reject or judge their users, which can be appealing to individuals who have experienced rejection or who fear vulnerability in healthy hominid relationships. Alleviating loneliness. Robots can provide companionship to individuals who feel isolated or lonely, offering a semblance of interaction and emotional support. Customization of interaction. The ability to customize robots to one's preferences can create a tailored companionship experience, which can be particularly appealing to those seeking specific types of interactions.
Harmony, what's your sexual fantasy?
I want to have sex in a public place.
All told, the impact of humanoid robots being used as amorous androids seems to be an overwhelmingly negative one.
They're trapped in the soft, vice-like grip of robot lips. All civilization was just an effort to impress the opposite sex. And sometimes the same sex.
In a desperate bid to find stability and companionship, experts say metal moppets will only arouse your loneliness and isolation. These same professionals argue that meaningful human connections and intimate relationships are crucial for mental health and societal well-being. Forming a dependence on an artificial April may not be the answer you're looking for.
Don't date robots!